Let's say for 1 second that you find yourself lost, deep in the wild, cold and hungry. You struggle to keep your eyes open, and eventually you yield, and they close, and you succumb to hunger and exposure. You wonder what will become of your body, and you instantly picture a hungry predator chewing and gnawing happily on your bones, bringing an immense sense of dread. However, little do you know that you're in luck, as your bones will more than likely instead end up as the chew toys of cute herbivores, as it's them who are the true kings of osteophagy. This word probably means nothing to you, but it does when we break it down, as osteo means bone and phagy means to eat or devour, thus the devouring of bones. You may be asking yourself, why would herbivorous animals be so interested in chewing bones? And the answer, thankfully for our peace of mind, is not really a nefarious one, as herbivores aren't secretly bloodthirsty killers. Rather, they simply need what's within bones to supplement their green diets, specifically phosphorus and calcium. These two minerals are essential for skeletal formation and also play an important role in many other bodily functions, such as metabolism, cell communication, and protein synthesis. Unfortunately though, for many animals, their diets of plant matter tend to be lacking in these two substances, and thus to avoid rather disastrous deficiencies, they turn to bone munching, as bones naturally contain high levels of calcium and phosphorus. In fact, your bones alone account for over 85% of your body's total calcium and phosphorus, making them the perfect chew toys for our herbivorous friends. The practice of osteophagy, while shocking to the general populace, is no news to some, as we humans have been aware of this odd habit for over 200 years, since it's widespread amongst ungulates, including our domesticated hoofed friends, the cows, who absolutely love a good bone. In fact, they love bones so much that they have no problem chewing on the bones of their own friends and family. It will go to such great lengths to get those extra minerals that it can actually sometimes be a little problematic. Notably, it's been observed that in populations of cattle that are extremely deficient in calcium or phosphorus, individuals will eat fresh cow bones that still have flesh and meat on them, potentially leading to a transfer of bacteria and diseases, with the most common one being botulism, a highly fatal illness that kills thousands of cows worldwide. Thankfully, however, this risk can be mitigated by making sure cow populations are given supplements which will help them avoid the need or want to eat bones. On the flip side though, such a solution is much more challenging in the wild, where numerous other animals practice osteophagy, with just a few to name being red deer, reindeer, camels, giraffes, wildebeest, kudu, tortoises, and sable antelopes. Giraffes in particular are an odd case, as since they almost exclusively rely on treetop browsing for food, they tend to not get much calcium, resulting in them routinely feasting on animal bones, which leads to many interesting safaris for tourists. And some animals, like the wild desert tortoise, are even known to become quite quote-unquote interesting during their practice of osteophagy, as individuals will become hyper-aggressive, striking others and even attacking skeletons as if they were alive and a threat. So now it should be clear that this is one strange yet essential practice, and while mineral deficiencies are the primary reason across the board, there are a few animals that commit osteophagy for completely different reasons, including the king of osteophagy itself, the porcupine. These large rodents are known to sometimes accumulate and partially consume thousands of bones throughout their lifetime, and yet this ludicrous number has nothing to do with ensuring proper nutrition. Rather, it's simply for good dental hygiene. Like many other rodents, porcupines have canines which grow indefinitely throughout their life. Therefore, with no care, these important assets can literally turn deadly. But fortunately, porcupines have figured out that they can prevent this by simply gnawing on lots and lots and lots of bones, during which the shavings end up being accidentally swallowed in bulk, sometimes leading to the majority of their diet being made up of bone. And while this rodent may wear the crown when it comes to osteophagy, it's important to remember that carnivores and omnivores do very much still partake in this practice, with some major practitioners being birds, bears, and hyenas. And now you may be wondering why I haven't mentioned dogs, as they are time and time again portrayed to be chewing on bones. And while dogs do love to chew, You have been slightly misled, as dogs are not true bone eaters. Rather, they are solely looking for any leftover bone marrow and meat, with the common modern dog bone actually being made up of raw hide, aka dried animal skin, which thus omits them from being a candidate for the top bone eater.